All
so
right,
nothing
live
about
there.
it.
We're on.
Hey.
Sorry, that was really rude.
All set.
See, I didn't have Wi-Fi, I wouldn't be doing work stuff right now.
Get to that one.
Probably got 100 of them, that's right.
Okay, I think we're all here. Today is March 16, 2003. This is the monthly meeting of the Webster Planning Board, Webster, New Hampshire. First up, item of business to take attendance. So let's start over here with
Paul King?
Craig Fournier.
Marlo Herrick, Susan Youngs.
So we have a quorum. We have one member missing, Adam Mock, and our alternate Teresa is also not here. But we have a quorum. Okay, item number 4, preliminary conceptual consultation for Lucas McCurley regarding subdivision map 6, lot 87 at 1091 Pleasant Street.
That's me.
Okay, you're up.
Come on
All
up.
right. Where do you want me? In this?
Right over there.
Oh, boy.
The hot seat.
Singled out.
This is not a
So-
normal setup.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
Lucas McCurley. I live at 1091 Pleasant Street, and I'm here for a non-binding consultation with you guys regarding a lot subdivision. We are currently looking to grow our family, so we are looking to build a bigger house. We love Webster. We have 10.01 acres. I know the minimum for Webster is 5 acres for a new home. So that is why we're here, to propose a lot subdivision, so we can grow and build another home on our property. So this is the
Could you get the power?
tax map. Yep. I drew a dotted line where I would like to divide the lots. I haven't really gone anywhere with a surveyor at the moment, just kind of getting my feet wet with everything. I have a couple in mind, but this is also a more topical map as well. So my house, you can't really see it that well.
This is the one here.
Yeah.
Where is 1091?
It's right across from the town pit, or the old Webster dump.
On Pleasant Street.
On Pleasant Street, the
On
dirt end.
Pleasant
Yep,
Street,
a big pine with American flag out front.
Okay.
And where is your house now?
My house is located on the left side of the
Over here on
the
6.
map. Yep, yeah, so right here. My house and the driveway come right up through here, and my house is over on the other lot over here. So I have, a big chunk of land over here where we are looking to build over here. It's kind of hilly and ledgy over here, so we're gonna try to avoid that area. But this area looks to be the best.
Okay.
The other issue is obviously, driveway. I don't have enough road frontage to put in another driveway, so I would have to get approved to split driveway.
Okay.
Like a shared
Shared driveway.
yeah.
Shared
That's
Yeah,
here.
shared driveway, so the
Pass it
driveway
down
comes
when
up
you're-
here. I have a red shed here, where there's actually an old skidder trail, logging trail, four-wheel trail, with a nice stone wall that I'd like to continue as the driveway.
Sure.
Yeah, pass it down, I just wanted.
This outlined in pink is your
Property map. Yep,
property map.
yep,
This is not belong to you.
nope,
You've got 329
Yep.
feet of frontage.
yep. So it's the old Carlisle's house, and I know that they subdivided back in the day this little square lot right here for one of the sons.
Pretty much if I used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. The only issue is, for you and your family, it's fine.
Yeah,
What happens when you sell it?
right,
Does it get sold as 2 pieces?
right. So,
And then if, what happens if the new owner doesn't like the shared driveway? What do we do?
right.
That's the issue.
Right, correct. As of right now, as long as my foot's in the earth and everything's good, I'm planning on owning both properties, and renting out the existing home that we have right now, which is a 1-bedroom, 2-bath ranch, to a family member.
So, any comments from the board?
Not really.
I have one comment.
Yes.
I don't know, though I'm not on the board, I believe this would also need a variance from the ZBA because of the road frontage requirements. I'm not saying he couldn't get it, but that's something the board should consider.
Even though it's where he's gonna be using the existing driveway?
Well, he's using the existing driveway, but the new lot wouldn't have 250 feet of frontage, which is required in the subdivision regulations.
Even if it's just, even if he still owns the
Correct.
existing building.
Because it's two separate lots. And both
Because-
lots need to have 250 feet of frontage on a road that serves it. That's the one concern I saw.
Right, yeah. I think we spoke, or I
We
spoke,
did speak
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
about that, yeah.
So it would have to go
Well,
to the ZBA.
so the next,
Right,
the next step would be the ZBA.
right. So you could refer him to the ZBA,
Okay.
and then he can apply for the ZBA to get a variance.
So you want a dirt section of the road?
What's that?
You want a dirt section of the road?
Yep. Yeah.
So what do you know about, on the ZBA side, to issue a variance?
So
For
there are
this, is there any-
5 criterias for a variance.
Yep,
I have to go over the ones in my head, but I know the hardest bar to pass is you have to prove that there's an undue hardship, and it can't be an undue hardship to you, it has to be an undue hardship based on the land. So that's the argument you're gonna have to figure out in order to prove that to the ZBA. I can get you the other ones in my office and we can kinda talk it through.
Yeah.
When we put the application together.
Yeah.
More than happy to do that with
Yeah.
you.
That'd be great.
But that would be, what I would see would be the next step, is the
Such
planning
as-
board refers him.
Like a hardship, would that consider be like there's like a wetlands you can't put a driveway
Right,
through,
couldn't put a
or?
driveway through a wetland,
Okay.
or say the lot was subdivided in the past and was buildable when it was this, and
Okay,
now this has happened, and you can kind of craft your argument and present it to the ZBA, see what
Okay.
they say.
all right. Good to know.
And then once you got approval, then you can come back to this board and do the subdivision.
Okay.
so more or less, what he'd wanna do is to get with the ZBA, and then he would wanna talk to any kind of a surveyor or subdivision type
Right,
person.
so there's no sense in spending the money hiring
Right.
a surveyor
Correct.
unless you have the variance in place to do the subdivision.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you very much.
Where is the house now on the property?
It is.
Here.
House is right here.
Okay, so it's a long driveway already there?
Yep. Yeah. We
So
have.
this driveway is already in existence,
Yep.
so you're just gonna come off here to this one?
Correct.
Okay.
You guys want to keep these maps?
I have another question.
Sure.
Does he
Do
have
you
to
know
subdivide
any
it to
dimensions
put
on that
another
driveway?
dwelling on
What's
it?
that?
Yes.
Do you know any dimensions on
Our
that driveway?
current zoning
I
is
don't.
only
I
It's
allowed
not over 300
single-family
feet.
homes, one.
One.
You could get an accessory dwelling, but it would have to be connected to
It's
the
fairly
already
long,
existing.
but I don't
Well,
think.
you got 600.
Okay.
Total, yeah, it's
you're
gonna be
probably-
close, pretty
probably
close.
close to 300 feet.
Yes.
So
Probably.
there's different rules for a 300-foot
Well,
driveway,
that's it
as
right now.
opposed to a regular driveway.
Okay.
You need to
The
follow
state of
them,
Maine, I
and you
think,
need to
just
make
passed
sure that this is
recently
at least
something
12
that
feet wide.
Okay.
Any lot
Because you are
can have
modifying
a
the
secondary
driveway.
The
dwelling.
driveway.
So the existing driveway would have to
Like
get
a
modified?
tiny
Yeah.
house, or, I
It's
don't know,
going 12
it's
feet wide.
Okay.
At least,
interesting.
and
But
if it's over
I mean,
300
it's
feet,
property.
we'll have to have some type of
wanna-
bump out here.
Okay, for
Right.
turnaround, such a.
Yeah,
Can
to-
we?
not, well, for fire trucks
And
to
the
pull off to
driveway.
one side
And the
and
driveway permit.
relay the water in,
Not-
so that's
Okay.
one of the
You're not
reasons
gonna
why.
do that.
And if it's not wide enough for two cars to pass, then someone's gotta back up all the way,
It's not
one way or
fair.
the other,
Correct.
whatever.
All right.
And this would eliminate that.
Okay, so that's good, all right, good to know, thank you.
Yeah, agreed.
So I can't be.
do we have to make any formal,
So I would just make a
Motions.
motion to refer him to the ZBA.
All right, I'll make a motion that we refer Mr.
Curly.
I'll second it.
Did you get all that, Russ? We like to talk in code.
To the reference to the ZBA, and then come on back.
Thank you guys very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, thank you
You.
for
And I will
coming.
get that letter for you probably tomorrow or the day after,
Perfect.
or Monday.
Thank
I was gonna say the day after, but I'll be busy at town meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
thank you.
Okay, item 5, site review case 2302. The board will review a proposal by Unitil to do tree trimming on scenic Martin Road. We have a letter here from Unitil. Do you want me to read the letter?
No, can I see it? You don't have to read it.
Well,
I mean, if you want to read it.
Other people in the room may want it.
Is there anyone else from Mutton Road?
Nope.
Is there just one copy?
No, well,
We've all got
I mean, if you want to, I was just trying to save the trouble if nobody else.
I'll cheat off him.
okay.
I thought you had.
Don't make it obvious over there,
I
right?
do have this one actually, yeah.
Oh, you have that, okay.
I don't know, I feel like you should, I feel like you should read it, so that people,
Yeah, I-
whoever's watching can understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, for the purpose of the recording, I'm gonna read it. If I don't lose my voice.
I can read it if you want.
Yeah, would you?
I've got it.
Go ahead.
Good.
Proposed
Alright.
pruning removal work. Unitil proposes to perform line clearance maintenance, pruning, and hazard tree removal work on overhead distribution lines that run along a scenic roadway in the town of Webster. This work is necessary to ensure safe, reliable electric service. Unitil proposes to trim to our regular specifications on scenic roads. The company will reduce the standard clearance requirement as needed to comply with individual resident concerns. All other pruning will be done to Unitil specifications in accordance with ANSI A300, American National Standard for Tree Care Operations Part 1, tree, shrub, and other woody plant maintenance pruning, as well as best management practices, tree pruning publication companion. Unitil clearance specifications are 15 foot above, 10 foot to the side, and 10 foot or remove brush below our primary electric wires. Customers will be notified of the pruning with a personal notification according to Unitil specifications. Permission will be obtained from landowners for hazard tree removals. All work will be overseen by an ISA certified arborist. The following circuit and scenic roadway are proposed to be pruned. Circuit C13W3, Mutton Road. Okay, is that good enough?
Okay, are there any comments from the board first, and then we'll have comments from the public? Any comment, Paul?
Now, this is something that Unitil does every 2 or 3 years, and it's pretty much cut and dried, so.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, that I assume they do this fairly routinely every so many years, but,
Yeah, I believe they do most of the other trees around every 3 years or 5 years, depending on the growth of the trees.
Comments from the public?
I'm fine with it. They did it, what, probably 5 years ago? Fine with it, no
In
problem.
5 years, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I work from home, so I need power.
yes.
Well, they deal with us, so they pretty much do it right, so.
Mark?
It's all me? All right, I have a few questions. The first part, in the first sentence, it says hazard tree removal. There's nobody, no representatives from Unitil here to answer any
No.
questions? No. So I don't know if you can ask them these questions, or, so does that mean they just remove any trees that are hazards underneath the lines? Or does that mean they can remove trees on the opposite side of the road as well?
15 foot above, 10 foot to the side, and 10 foot below.
And what's the roadbed width?
It says perform line clearance, maintenance, pruning, and hazard tree removal work on overhead distribution lines. It does not, in that first sentence, it doesn't say 15 feet anywhere, it just says remove hazard tree lines, remove
So-
hazard trees.
I have a question.
Sure.
Off his question. Can we request them to mark what trees they think they need to remove? And so we can review them?
That's what, that was my next
Okay.
question,
Oh,
actually,
sorry, yeah, because that's what I'd want. You know,
Absolutely.
I'd want to know, because sometimes my opinion on what they should remove and what they remove is different.
Right. And then in the next,
Oh,
so
that's
is it, if that includes removing trees on the opposite side of the road or not?
Have you talked to Unitil?
I have not,
Well,
no. I mean, we have in the past, again, we're just about 4 generations on the road, so we've seen it happen all the time as well. And normally, there's markings, or maybe a ribbon on the tree or some sort of marking they do and so forth. But my follow-up question to that would be, how does that work? For example, what are the steps involved for, you know, it says reduce clearance requirement. The next sentence that I'm concerned about says that a citizen can ask to reduce the clearance requirements. So how does that work? I mean, I'm not gonna go out there right now and go, that one, that one, that one. Does Unitil, do I have to stand there and say, can you reduce your clearance on that one you're doing right now? Or can you reduce your clearance on that one you're doing right now? Like, how do we know which ones to reduce and which ones not to reduce?
I mean, what's your general feeling about it? I mean, are there certain trees you don't want removed, or?
I think, number one, you know, Dan and I just talked, and he said, hey, my theory is, I wanna make sure they're cut so we don't lose electricity. I feel the same exact way. However, I would be concerned if there are trees on a scenic road that maybe somebody feels are a threat to the lines, and citizens along the road don't. So there needs to be a conversation, especially when that is part of the scenic sort of laws, I think.
Have you in the past received a notice in the mail that they're coming through?
I have.
Asking for your consent?
Many, many times.
I'm sure there must be a phone number on there, you can call them,
Yeah.
and you can get your questions answered from that
Okay,
card.
so I'm asking the board, do you want me to make these phone calls, or is the board going to make these phone calls with my questions?
I would prefer that you make them.
Okay,
I mean, you do
absolutely.
it
You as the landlord,
Sure.
you as the landowner,
Yeah,
would have a little bit more
right.
clout with them than
Okay.
we would.
And I would, when you talk with them, the idea about marking the trees, I think is a great idea.
Well, and then how will they trim them? That's what the other concern that I would have, even though I don't even live up there, I would, because sometimes what people feel is in the way and what the rest of us feel is in the way, and there's different species of trees that, you
Well,
know.
it's an interesting piece, and
Yeah.
that's a scenic road, but how this is written, and it says, you know, again, the company will reduce the standard clearance requirement as needed to comply with individual resident concerns. So the word resident there is interesting, so could I go all the way down to the end of the road, even though it's not my property, and say, I guess I got a concern with that tree you're thinking about cutting down right there?
I would.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't think so.
I would think it would be your
I think
own,
it's just on your own property.
but I don't know.
But that's a good
I
question,
mean,
Mark.
it says standard clearance requirement
Yeah.
as needed to comply with individual resident concerns.
Yeah.
Does that mean a resident of Webster? It doesn't specify you have to be a landowner at all.
Right, it doesn't, but
Well, because I think we could have an opinion too. We could be part of the decision-making as a board to say, especially being a scenic road, as, whatever you say, but you just want them to go hog wild, and some people do more than others. But what I've seen over the years of clearing trees along the road, you know, we've all, you know, have a little bit of behind me and clearing trees. So some of it is, you know, well, why did they leave that dead one standing there ready to fall on the wire, but they took this nice maple over here? That maples tend to not be as squishy as a pine. You know, there's all those kind of different things. And granted, that's why they're looking for input, I think, especially being a scenic road. And you don't wanna see, I'm assuming, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, you don't wanna see them to go down through and take trees that,
yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Cause
yeah.
there's some, I'm serious, even on our own road, they left this dead tree forever, but they took this beautiful maple over here, and it's like,
Well, I
Historic.
don't.
Can I just build on here just for a second? So there are state laws concerning scenic roads, but it's also up to each town if they want to add rules to those scenic rules. I mean, I've researched, for example, many towns in New Hampshire have added things to keep their roads more scenic in their own personal towns. So you can add things to this as well. For example, my next question would be, if I ask Unitil to remove a tree, if I say, geez, I know you guys didn't mark that one, but I think that tree on the other side of the road is a hazard and it could go across the road. Could you guys cut that for me? Again, it's okay under the laws for us to cut our trees, we don't have to ask permission from the town. If you guys wanted to cut the trees, you would have to ask us permission to have a board meeting and so forth. So is it okay for me to ask Unitil to cut a tree? And then the second part of that question is, if I ask Unitil to cut a tree and they agree, can I plant a tree where that tree was? For example, take out the stump, plant a new tree that is smaller than the size required and not have the town take that tree down. For example, there is a part in the law that says if a tree is, I forget what it is, 4 feet up, 5 inches in circumference or something, the town can cut it. If it's under that, if it's over that, the town has to leave it alone. So if I had Unitil cut a tree down, or 2 or 3, and I wanna plant a tree in that same spot, but it's smaller, for example, I'd like to plant some sugar maples on Mutton Road. There's some beautiful ones up at Becker's that are 200 years old. The town has a history of planting sugar maples. I mean, Allen Road, fantastic, beautiful. Even here on 127, we have some old sugar maples. Obviously on Tyler Road, where, you know, a lot of my ancestors lived a long time ago. 40, 50, 60 sugar maples. Is that a possibility that the town could look at that so that I could plant some trees in the same places where trees were and not have the town destroy them or cut them down or hit them or anything like that?
One of those things where the tree goes tall enough, gets into the wires, and they're gonna trim it, and they're gonna make it look like
It's gonna be on the opposite side of the road,
opposite side of the wall.
yeah.
Is that a planning board thing?
Well, that was what I was
I'm
about to
just
say.
curious. I don't know.
There's, the planning board is concerned about general topics for the town, okay? This seems like an issue between you and Unitil, okay?
Well,
Maybe I'm
the
not.
part would be planting a tree is not, that's planning
No,
board.
but I'm okay with you planning, I don't have any problem with that.
I think what he's looking at is, if he plants this tree and he invests planting it, that, you know, well, I've seen 15, 20 years down the road, I mean, because
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
transplanted maple trees on our own property and to other family members, they get quite big. He just doesn't wanna find himself doing that, and then the, you know,
There's no
whoever
project.
comes down and says, oh, that tree needs to go, cause,
Right, what I would suggest is to talk to Emmett, talk to the road agent, make sure that he knows that you planted that tree and you don't want it cut.
I like that suggestion. I would also like the board to have some sort of policy written so that it's, when Emmett is not the road agent.
Right.
Well,
I mean, it's
'cause
wonderful,
that's-
it's wonderful now, but I think you need to have something written in your policy
Yeah,
so
but we
that,
can't, I mean,
well, you can,
we.
you're allowed to.
Yeah, I know we are, but, I mean, are we gonna write a separate policy for every tree on the road?
No, just write a blank policy.
What, well.
I mean, I can help you write the policy. if
Yeah,
you'd
I was
like.
just gonna say.
Sure.
If you're gonna write it, what would you say?
Let's see.
Why don't you think about it, send it to us, and
Sure,
we can
sounds fair,
discuss it among the board.
yeah.
Yeah, give us something.
I won't put you on the spot right now.
Yeah.
No, you put me on the spot, but I have to give you an answer.
Well, these are all good questions.
I think
Yeah.
they're fantastic ones, and I think it's ways to preserve. And when if somebody wants to plant a tree,
Yeah,
there's nothing worse than,
and it's on a scenic road.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Concord has a policy about planting trees on the side of the road, they have their own policy. Lots of towns have the policy, so it's in their written policies, so.
So if you don't mind,
Sure.
throw one together and we'll review
And
it.
propose it, we can,
Yeah, cause I mean, I don't see,
Drop an email to us, or drop it off to us, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Sure.
Works for me.
I think that's fantastic.
And I just want, lastly, I thank you for your time. I just want to thank for the personal invitation that I was sent to. Russell sent me a personal invitation to attend, knowing that scenic roads are a concern of mine, so I appreciate the board and Russell doing that. Thank you. It's good proactive
yeah.
board work.
We're thinking about keeping them. And we
Okay.
thank you guys. I mean, I feel like it's a very important thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you live on the road, trees are important to you.
Well, and sometimes people don't even think about it until they're gone, and then that's too late.
Yeah, and then-
One thing that we do, when you cut a tree, you can't put it back unless you plant it.
Then they're pissed off for the next
Yeah,
30 years.
that's right, that's right, that's a fact. Yep,
Thank you.
awesome,
Yeah, sure.
thank you.
Draft minutes.
Yes,
So
item,
we
Well,
give them
anybody-
permission to
Item
build
6.
the cut?
Oh,
They can make a motion to give them permission?
I think we should make a motion to say, I'm throwing this out there, Greg, that we need to see them marked and make sure that they are in touch with the residents on that road.
yeah, personally, not just a letter, but
Yeah,
they need to come to
They
the
need-
door and have a discussion with you.
before we say, yeah, go hog wild and do whatever you want. That's what, how did you like that? How you gonna write that, Russ?
I wouldn't put it quite that,
Okay, go ahead, put better words for me.
but it makes it sound like we expect that they're gonna go hog
No,
wild.
right, sorry.
Yeah.
So what would, help us out here, give us some wording.
Yeah. Sorry, see, I get
Why would
myself,
you-
cracking myself up.
Well, the original thing you said was that we want Unitil to contact individual property owners to make sure that, there aren't concerns about specific tree removal,
Yep, and that they need to be marked.
and that ones that are gonna actually be taken down should be marked.
Right.
Taken down, some of them are just gonna be trimmed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or what,
I
what
They
we-
don't, the ones that are trimmed don't need to be marked.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think
So-
most will be trimming. I doubt they'll take a lot of trees. Maybe
Okay.
I'm wrong, but.
Yeah, I mean, they're, sure as you know, there's some ash trees. You know, they're dead, ash,
Yeah,
emerald
right,
ash
right,
borers take, so,
right.
I mean, there are some trees that I would expect they're gonna take down just because they're dead.
Yeah.
And they are on the side of the road with the lines.
Okay, so they're gonna mark the trees to be taken down. All right, I'll second the motion. Do we have a, can you read? can
Yeah,
you
read it.
Read what you got.
Cause I don't know that was
Give me a
stated.
second to write it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it wasn't really
There's the lines, I'm looking.
stated like a motion. It's like we move to approve their request to do trimming, subject to.
Subject to.
to approval of,
Yes, yeah,
Let's see, Russ is good at this, we'll,
Yeah, Russ is pretty good.
and I'm gonna just state a fact that I've seen them trim trees that I say, that makes sense to me. So, when I say hog wild,
Depends on the time of day they are.
I guess, sometimes I was like, huh?
and was it
What's this?
Unitil?
Well, it was Eversource where I've seen it, I don't.
Well, they all contract out.
They do, and
ask for it.
sometimes even like they did some
Alright.
upgrade that was.
Okay, wait, we're ready?
All right, make the motion to grant permission contingent upon Unitil contacting each property owner and marking all the trees that are to be cut.
With, and have it, we wanna say that they gotta get like a, then we come back to us? Or approval from them?
No, this goes, then they would have to talk to each of the property
have
to.
owners
Okay, okay.
prior
It's
to
not us.
marking the trees and cutting.
Okay,
Is that in there?
In the past, what happens is they'll put something in the mail or attached to our house, whatever, that says, you know, we will be cutting on this date. If there are any concerns, please contact us. So they do their due diligence under the, I'm sure under the scenic laws and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's fine, as long as we can have that discussion with them, and
Okay.
that's fine. So we don't have to have a personal talk with everybody on the road.
and you are right, they do, they'll
Yeah.
give you that little notice, and then you call them and say,
Right, right.
So just want to change it to Unitil upon Unitil noticing each property owner,
Notify.
notifying.
Yeah.
Wordsmithing, it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I typed it, does anybody want to read it?
I think we got it.
You think we got it, so Susan made the motion, you seconded, and we're gonna vote on it?
Sure.
All right, all in favor of the motion?
aye.
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 Not ready for the
Okay.
big, not ready for the big time.
Item 6, approval of draft minutes from last month. Do you have them in front of us? I'm sure you've read every word and
I did skim through them.
it
Before I came.
comports with what happened.
I did review them.
I don't have any.
Any comments, Paul?
No, I think I'm okay with it. We mean, it's good to go.
Any typos?
This center. Well, at the top of this, it says, meeting minutes Thursday, January 19th.
Okay, so I may have to fix that.
Nice
What a good
catch,
idea.
Craig.
So I'm guessing we're gonna motion to approve as amended?
Yes.
Is that Craig?
Yeah.
And seconded by
Me.
Marlo.
Okay, are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor of the amended approval of the planning board? Say aye.
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 All in favor.
Okay. Any other business?
Checking on Mr. Jubiak on Brookfield Circle, if he's requested a seasonal dwelling.
That's gonna be zoning board next month, so new notices are going out.
Was it scheduled for this month?
It was scheduled for this month, and the snowstorm, they canceled it, so new abutter notices are gonna be going out within the next couple weeks.
All right.
So it'll be going against, that meeting is, I believe, April 11th, and it'll be in this room. And if you're concerned about it and you're not one of the abutters, you can give me your information and then I'll make sure to send you a letter.
No, I'm in a butter.
Okay,
I'll be there on April 11th.
okay.
Is there no other business?
I have other business.
Oh, I do too.
So you do
But I don't see where we're supposed to ask you.
Well, it's actually not from me, it's from Emmett.
Oh, okay.
Because we were discussing scenic roads and he wants to do some cutting, I think on Bastion Hollow and Garish Road and removing a few rocks. So we wanted to come in and hold another public hearing next month for the same purpose.
There's some big rocks there on Passion Road.
He also spoke to me about Pleasant Street getting, trees getting removed.
Yeah, is Pleasant Street a scenic road?
Oh, I guess, no, it
Yeah.
probably isn't, okay, so it doesn't matter.
No.
For, the road widening, for, traffic through there, for
Oh,
when they're
because
doing
of
the bridge.
The bridge.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you'd have a meeting on that or anything.
I am not sure, I can ask him. But that would be, that was my new business.
Okay.
So do we want to schedule that for next month so we can get it taken care of?
Yes.
What do you want to schedule? I mean,
Next planning board meeting.
for the sub.
No, for
No, no.
the cutting on the scenic roads. So
Oh,
same thing as
Unitil's doing, but
Unitil's doing, but Emmett's doing.
okay, all right.
Yes, and then you'll put it as
Yeah.
a public hearing.
And we'll have
Yeah, public
that,
hearing, I'll
Yes.
put ads in the paper.
and we'll have Emmett here, right?
That's the next question I'm gonna have to ask Emmett if he's gonna be available. Because usually on these nights, he goes to a regional fire department meeting. So I'll have to ask him about it, but if all's clear with him, then we'll schedule it and get it done.
Again, this is old hat. It's been
Yeah.
done before.
but it has to be done.
There's one other item that I want to make the board aware of, that this, I guess it was Monday, Paul and Emmett and I went out to, there's a new construction on Call Road, right as you turn off Battle Street on
Yes.
Call. And the driveway doesn't conform in any way to our driveway regs.
Did they have a permit?
They did.
They
had
did
the
then,
per-
just
They had the
did.
permit, but they didn't follow
They didn't follow.
what we proposed in the permit.
So, Russ and Dana have scheduled a meeting with the developer next week for Paul and Emmett and myself. But I just wanted to make you aware of that that's a problem. You might, if you're down that way, just drive by.
Take a look.
Look at that driveway. It's pretty awful.
Where is that, Craig?
Call Road, right at the
Call
corner.
Road up
Corner of
here.
Call Road, one
As
percent.
you, just off of Battle Street.
Yep.
A new house. Other than that, I don't have any more business. I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. Town
Yeah, go
meeting,
turn us off.
same thing. Half hour in, out, no, we do 35 minutes in,
Well,
out.
I don't think it'd be quite that fast, but it should be more than an hour to an hour and a half at the most.
So,
The mock town meeting only took an hour.